Welcome back to GMP Scenario, presented by PharmaContentLabs.com.
Let's picture a scene that plays out every day in quality departments everywhere. You're closing out a CAPA, a corrective and preventative action. Seems totally routine, right? But what if I told you the single most important step is almost always forgotten? That's what we're going to dig into today. So imagine a QA team member grabs a CAPA that's ready for closure. It's just another task on the list, something they've done 1,000 times. And at first glance, hey, everything looks like it's in order. The status says it all. Closed. Looks like the root cause was found, a plan was made, and the team executed it. It feels like a win. So what's the problem? But there's always a but, isn't there? This is that moment where a simple review suddenly hits a wall. Something just isn't right here. There's a big piece of the puzzle missing. And when you look closer, you see it. It's a massive gap. There's no effectiveness check planned, no metric to even tell you if the fix worked, no date for a follow-up, and no one assigned to do it. Basically, there's zero evidence that the problem is really, truly solved for good. So this gets to the heart of the whole thing, doesn't it? Are we just pushing paper around, ticking boxes just to say we did something? Or is this a sign of something much bigger, a genuine lack of control over our own quality system? Let's be really clear about this. This isn't just some tiny oversight. It's a complete failure of the quality system. A CAPA without solid proof that it worked is just a good intention. And in the real world, intentions don't count for anything without hard evidence. Okay, so why does this matter so much? Why is it such a huge deal? Let's break down the real-world risks when you leave this loop wide open, because the consequences go way beyond one bad document. Well, for starters, you have no idea if the problem is just going to pop right back up again. You think it's fixed, but it isn't. And that leads to the second, more dangerous point. These negative trends start to grow in the background, silently. A small issue that keeps happening can snowball into a product recall or, even worse, a safety incident. And finally, you better believe when an inspector sees this, they don't just see one mistake. They see a pattern. They see weak governance, a system that isn't even checking its own homework. All right, enough about the problem. The good news is that the fix is actually pretty straightforward. It really just boils down to a simple 3-step process to make sure your CAPAs are actually doing their job. It all has to start right at the beginning. Step 1, when you open the CAPA, you've got to define what fixed actually looks like. What's the metric? Is it a lower error rate? Is it 0 recurrence for 90 days? You have to be specific. Then, step 2 is all about accountability. You schedule the check, you assign an owner, and you put a hard date on the calendar. And finally, step 3. This is the moment of truth. You document the results. Did you hit the target you set in step 1? If the answer is yes, great. You can close it with real confidence. If not, guess what? That CAPA stays open. This brings us to the most important part, the evidence. See, it's not enough to just do the check. You have to be able to prove you did it. So what does that proof actually look like? What's going to make an inspector look at your file and just nod, satisfied? The evidence you pull together needs to tell the whole story. It starts with a plan you made from the get-go. Then you show the method you used to check it. Then come the results, the raw data. And based on that data, your final conclusion. But don't stop there. The last piece is the clincher. Evidence that the fix is actually sticking over time. That's how you prove sustained control. Now, let's talk about the single biggest mistake people make. This is the pitfall that organizations fall into all the time, and you can be sure that inspectors are trained to look for it every single time. And here it is. The wrong move is closing the CAPA the second the training session is over. You found a human error, you held a training, and you checked the box. Done. Nope. That is not enough. The right way is to wait. You have to gather data after the training and prove with hard evidence that the training actually worked and the error stopped. Remember, the action isn't the fix. The result of the action is the fix. If you only take one single thing away from all of this, let it be this simple phrase: proof wins, opinions lose. Your opinion that the training was great is, frankly, worthless. The data showing the error rate dropped to 0, that's everything. So as we wrap up, I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about when you're back at your desk. When you close out a corrective action, are you really solving a problem for good, or are you just filling out a form? Is your control real, or is it just on paper?
Thank you for watching. If this helped, like and subscribe. More GMP scenarios coming.